Hello, everybody. Welcome to this webinar about how to boost your partnership. My name is Maya Joab, and I'm a key partner manager responsible for the European market, and I'll be your host for today. So let's dive in. So what exactly is Odoo? Most of you probably know, but let's wrap it up again. So our mission as Odoo is we want to unleash companies' potential by empowering the users with tools they love. Also, what I really like is like this metaphor of, we are a Belgium company, we're a Belgium tech scale up actually. And if you compare us actually to a lot of like US tech startups as well, mostly they have been found in a garage in the founder's place. Actually, Odoo is a bit different. I call it Belgian style. We were like our first offices was not a garage, it was a farm. So it's a bit like of this Belgium twist to the tech company. What we do with our software is we help people to do more in less time. And how do we actually make that happen? We have built in a unique product which is fully integrated within each other, fully featured, even more than fully featured for an ERP system, if you think about it, because we also have other complementary features that are not very typical for a ERP system, such as a website builder or also an e-commerce and an e-sign tool and so on and so on. So we have a lot of productivity features that are not very typical. So I call it, or I like to call our ERP Plus as well. Odoo is also very unique because it's very, very scalable. So you can start from a small company with like 1 to 5 employees and then very, very quickly scale up to 50 employees, 100 employees, 1,000 employees, and even more. So it's really, really great. And what makes it also fantastic is that it's very intuitive also for new employees to be onboarded. It is making the time of onboarding very, very quickly as well, and it looks very, very easy, which makes it also very fun to work with. What we did is we went and built an app for every need. So this is how Odoo has become a very, very integrated solution. And here you can see like an example suite of how Odoo might look like for you as well. In general, what we say is, and what we see as well in the market, especially for small and medium companies, is a lot of them use up to 14 different tools in order to manage their business. Some of them you might also know here, but with Odoo, we have the possibility to get rid of them all and only work with one integrated solution and not have any need for any connectors or any customization in order to make these tools actually to communicate together. And we get rid of redundancy in terms of having 3 different data sets of the same data actually at the in different systems and then trying to consolidate them, which is very, very hard. What makes us different? I would like to say our positioning, because we are a very we can offer to cover very complex business needs in a very user-friendly interface. And normally you see the same kind of user-friendliness in like single-purpose tools like Slack, Trello, HubSpot, MailChimp, and so on. But it's not really used for highly complex business cases. So this is where Odoo also is very, very different from the ERPs, which is our unique positioning in the end. Bit of key figures about Odoo. So currently we are over 5,700 employees worldwide, and we have over 12 million happy Odoo enterprise users. We have a massive app store, not only from our side, but like next to our 80 plus apps that we offer out of the box. We also have a huge app store from our community as well with over 40K apps. and we're present in most of the countries, so 175 plus countries, and we have currently a 45% year-over-year growth, which is quite solid. Here you can see our 19 offices that we currently have. Think until the end of 2025, beginning of 2026, we might have one or the other new office popping up as well. So stay on the lookout for that as well. Overall, currently our partner network has over 9,500 partners worldwide. Here you can see also a bit of a distribution of like where we have the most partners and so on. So in total, we have over almost 230 gold partners worldwide and a bit more than 600 silver partners, but also a massive amount of ready partners and learning partners, making up over 850 partners worldwide. So it's our partner network is constantly growing. We almost doubled the numbers from the last 2 years globally. So that's a massive record. So we can also see a lot of support from new partners coming into the network and spreading also the word about Odoo, which is really, really nice to see. But yeah, let's focus also a bit more about our more developing countries, especially in Europe, which is my specialty actually. So specifically about UK and Ireland, as well as the Nordics, Baltics, and the Balkan countries, as well as Central and Eastern Europe. If you're interested in other European countries or in general about other numbers as well, there will be another webinar next Tuesday, actually on the 1st of April in German for Germany, Austria, Switzerland. And also let me know, maybe in the chat as well, if you're interested in other countries as well, because then I can help you organize it internally with the different experts from the different markets. So you can have the same session in your language with more local data as well. And otherwise, talk to your partner manager or your current Odoo point of contact so they can help you out as well. So let's see a bit also currently we're very strong actually in Central Europe and Eastern Europe, as well as the Balkans when it comes to our monthly recurring revenue growth in 2024. So here you can see it distributed over the different regions. As I already said, year over year, we're growing 45%. So we see UK and Ireland being a bit above this trend, as well as the Balkans and Central and Eastern Europe. However, we can see a bit that the Nordics and the Baltics, they're lagging behind a bit. This has several reasons. But we can also see if we look at the partner network, actually, which is a bit following this MRR trend, that the Nordics and Baltics, they're having a bit of a untapped potential in terms of new partner growth in 2024, whereas in the UK and Ireland, we follow this trend, as well as also in the Balkans and Central and Eastern Europe. So this is actually showing, we have an underrepresentation in the Nordics, but also in general, we have an underrepresentation also in our developing countries as well. So there's a lot of opportunity that there is to grab. So it's a lot of good opportunity as well for everyone who's listening today to become more active in their partnership and really grab a bit of the market pie, because it is still up to grabs, and we're looking forward to having more and more active partners. Here we have also a bit of the partner landscape in the different countries. So here we can have a view on the 88 partners that are active currently in the UK and Ireland. So we have a bit of a map as well, and the map distribution, so we can see they're mostly also partners around like the London area, and then also like the central UK as well. But we also lack a lot of partners here. We have 1 gold partner, we have 10 silver partners, and 19 ready partners. So there's a lot of room still open for you to boost also your partnership more, because the UK and Ireland are both booming markets as well for us. They're becoming more and more relevant for Odoo as well. So there's a good opportunity as well to catch on your side. When it comes to the Nordics and Baltics, as well, we can see we have a total of 4 gold partners in that region and 9 silver partners. So here also we can see that we're lacking actually a lot of silver partners as well, with a few ready partners here and there. So it's like we still have there also potential. The distribution, you can see it's also mostly of the partners are mostly also around the bigger cities. Actually, the smaller cities are not well represented actually in our partner network. So that is also giving you a lot of opportunity to also go there, and especially if you're anyway located in these areas, it's showing a lot of promise, and we are very open for new partnerships, especially in the Nordics and Baltics, where we really need partners. So let's come to Central and Eastern Europe. Here we have around 103 partners, with also only 1 gold partner, 14 silver partners, and 22 ready partners. So here we can see also that, especially also in Poland and in Ukraine, as well as Slovakia and Slovenia and Hungary, we're definitely underrepresented. And there are a lot of opportunities as well in the different cities, and as well in terms of partner size as well. Like we have a lot of opportunities there as well, and there's a lot of demand going on, which is fantastic. In the Balkans, we have, also following the trend that you could see also beforehand, 141 partners in total. So under the Balkan umbrella, we actually count a lot of countries in comparison to the other regions. But in total, we have here 5 gold partners, 11 silver partners, and almost 40 ready partners. So we can also see here, we have some partners for sure, but there's also massively space as well to grow on the Odoo side. And we are improving as well on topics like the localization here, so that it's becoming easier and easier for partners to actually be a partner in the local countries. So let's talk a bit about the Odoo ecosystem and how it all works, and how do we work with partners actually within our ecosystem. So basically, we have a triangular relationship with our partners and customers, especially when working with partners. So let's start from the top. So basically, how does Odoo work with partners and their customers? In terms of on the customer side, what we do is we provide Odoo licenses as well as hosting solutions. So either the Odoo Online version or the Odoo SH version, which are our SaaS solutions, or our SaaS and PaaS solutions, but also you have the possibility, of course, to then host on-premise, which would be then a partner service. And then what we normally cover is as well like our standard upgrade and standard support. Actually, our support also improved very, very recently. I don't know if you noticed it beforehand, but we've integrated now an AI as well in our support page, and have the possibility to live chat as well with our customers and our partners for support purposes, in order to make it way more efficient and snappy. So this is one very, very nice feature. However, what we do not do is, as I said, we do standard upgrades and standard support, but if there are some custom codes and so on, this is not what Odoo feels responsible for. This is where you go to your partner for, because they, what we help partners with is usually commercial support. So we train our partners as well, and also offer our insights as well in projects and in the pre-sales phase as well. We offer also certifications and further on trainings and smart classes, master classes, as well as partners get a commission for every license sale with their customers that they bring to us as well. And of course, then the last part is what is the relationship between partners and customers. So what we also say from Odoo side is actually that partners provide the local presence for the customers. A lot of customers either want to be treated in the local language or also would like to be able to march into the office of a partner and meet the partner in person, because it's also an important project for them, an ERP implementation. So they would like to be there in person and really connect as well and have a long-lasting relationship. So this is also what partners are there for. And of course, partners sell their implementation services to customers, as well as offer additional support, maybe in the local language, maybe not, but maybe also only about the further developments and maintenance of the software. So this is where also partners come into place with customers, and this is solely on the partner-customer relationship side. Yeah. The partner role can be a lot of things, actually. So what we recommend to partners is to offer different kind of high-value services, like for example, the analysis of a project, configuration, then customization, development, deployment, but also further on training, maybe documentation and hosting. And what is a bit unique as well, like especially if you are already in a partnership with another software editor, is that Odoo, in the Odoo ecosystem, partners are very free to choose like their own service fees. We do not give any guidelines or whatever on it, so you're free. Of course, we can share with you a bit like what is our experience and what pricing fits or not, but we do not determine or force anything on you. Also, Odoo will never take a percentage of partner services. For some other editors, this is common, but for us, it's really not, and this will also never be. And also, what we try to make sure is that, of course, your service fees, they're your main source of income and revenue. So we want to really leave it with you and leave it free. But of course, we will help you as well with an assessment of, is this something fitting for you and your business? What is the competition doing? And is it actually a valuable service or not? So this is where you might have your partner manager also get involved and give you a few tips on that. So, but if you're planning to first become a partner, or you just joined the partnership program, what are your next steps? So step one, I would say, is learn the product, of course. Because it's really, really important to know actually what you're selling. So what we recommend here is to go on odoo.com/learn and spend around 45 hours in basic tutorial videos. In reality, this will take you a bit longer than 45 hours because this is just our video material. What I recommend is opening a second window next to the videos, opening a test database and trying all the processes that you learn about in a demo database as well, and really try out the processes, because this is how you learn best. So this will more likely take you around like 2 weeks in total to go through all of the tutorials, but it's definitely worth it. The content is also good and very, very interesting, so it will not be boring for sure. What we also recommend is really mixing theory and use cases. These are use cases that we oftentimes also offer as well on our e-learning platform. So really make sure that to go through it, to not cheat, and really try to figure out the use cases all by yourself, because this is how you have the biggest learning effect. We also offer our a game, which is an onboarding game, actually. It's called the Scale Up game. You find it online very, very easily. And it's nice for the first 2 weeks to really get into the product, and maybe also give it to your new employees as well, because it's really a great tool to onboard new people if you're starting your partnership new, but also if you want to onboard new employees. And then we have an example also of how the first 2 weeks may look like. This is more like how it looks like for us, actually, for internal employees. The first week is mostly focused on the functional aspect. So we have first like a bit of an office tour and so on. And then we start with like the basics, basic tutorials about CRM, about sales management. We have a bit of use cases as well. So we have a onboarding session actually with a functional expert. And then we go to invoicing, for example, project and timesheet. And then the next day, Wednesday, is already like purchase apps and inventory. Then you go to the MRP, which is becoming more and more tougher. And in between, you have like use cases, Q&A, prepare a demo case, and so on. So it's really, really interactive. And this is also what we recommend for our partners to be. To go ahead and really go deeper into the project as well, and or like to go deeper into the product and really dive in and learn a lot in a very short amount of time, because it is possible. It is definitely time consuming, although 2 weeks, it's not that time consuming, but like, of course, if you have a side business as well, then it might be. But it's definitely worth it in order to get you as quickly as possible on the horse and really make you effective in your use of Odoo. Last but not least, we also offer, like how you saw, like the planning of the first 2 weeks, actually in our onboarding course, which is called the Project Leader Onboarding. So it is especially targeted towards project managers who are going to implement projects as well. So it can be used mostly by new partners, but also new employees of partners who are then taking over more of a project management role in order to be onboarded as quickly as possible with also the Odoo implementation methodology. So here it's a 7 weeks course of which also includes, like, similar to the first 2 week planning that I was showing you, the onboarding and more of our methodology and further use cases, as well as advanced configuration and how to actually set up a project, which is a great course actually if you're becoming a new partner. Yes. So the second step for a successful partnership is also to implement Odoo in your own company, because you should definitely use the tool that you also recommend, because also otherwise, what are you trying to do with your partnership as well? So we have here you can, on the side, you can see also the service company started kit with the different apps that you might want to use as well. There's also a great Odoo industry possibility for a Odoo partner. but also then it is interesting for you as well to really play the game and try to estimate your timing and budget as well for yourself. And then also to follow the Odoo implementation methodology as we do it, because this is how we work in general. It's we have our Odoo implementation methodology that was being compiled basically by trial and error. So this is all of our learnings from all of the hundreds and thousands of Odoo projects that we've done. And we've, of course, iterated and learned from all of them. And we came up with the Odoo implementation methodology, which we're happy to share with our partners, which basically focus on different key aspects. So basically, it is up to you to also to implement them already in your own project. So rather focus on the project success rather than your own or your customer's short-term satisfaction. Because of course, in the ERP system, if you're implementing a new system, the satisfaction goes up and down. So especially shortly before go live, usually customers are not super happy because it's a lot of change management, it's a lot of work as well. And maybe it's not looking like they really like it or like they used to work beforehand. And it seems like more effort actually to implement the ERP and to actually introduce the ERP. Whereas shortly after go live, the satisfaction skyrockets usually massively, because then also the end users see the successes, see where it's helpful actually in their life. So this is something also we see often is the satisfaction, the changing satisfaction of customers, and that you should really not be disencouraged as well and astray from your original plan and budget, just to make a customer happy, especially during the project, if you're sure that it leads to the customer, the project success and the customer success in the mid or long term. Then also what we highly recommend is to limit custom developments, because it increases technical depth. It's making not necessarily the customer very happy as well, because either they're spending a lot of money or it's like tools that are nice to have or functionalities that are nice to have but not really necessary. So this is something where we like to recommend as well to keep it for later and really see and have the customer advocate for custom developments rather than proposing them in the relatively in the beginning before the go live. So normally what we say is customers should really or like partners should really implement Odoo first of all without any custom developments and just in standard, and then see where the project goes and have the customer really push for custom developments. And then, of course, to keep it simple, which is in line with the custom developments. So don't go too complicated too quickly, especially if there's no need for it and it's just nice to have, because it will keep your project on time and on budget, and will keep the customer in the long term, or yourself, if you implement it internally, happier. And then it's also, last one is train your key users early in the project, because a lot of ERP projects, they fail as well if the key users are not taken into account early, because the management might not know every single mini task and so on that or like doesn't know the exact processes as well. So if you train the key users early, you can also see mistakes in the project planning, or also like you can uncover different different spots basically that you didn't identify and processes that you didn't identify beforehand before it's actually too late and you're shortly before go live. So try to involve the key users as early as possible in the project because they will also be your internal advocates for making the ERP implementation, but also usage later on, successful. And then work in phases. So what we say normally is go step for step and don't have a big bang ERP implementation because normally then it goes wrong. And of course, for the internal implementation of our software, for partners especially, we give an internal discount as well for partners. So just ask your salesperson or your partner manager for it. So they will give it to you. So the next step, next to implementing it successfully and also the system successfully and learning about the product is, of course, finding your first leads, which is a tough one. Because, yes, a lot of our partners currently are also IT companies, and then it's particularly difficult to find your first leads, especially if you've never gone out and found your first leads yourself as well. And then, of course, it's a new project. You do not have like seniority or a good track record of Odoo implementations in the market. So this is why your first few leads are the most important ones for you to get right. So what we recommend usually is to have a good online presence. So to be on your website, to have a website, to be also on the partner page as an official partner, to have content, blog posts, maybe webinars, maybe a bit of Odoo tutorials, comparison reviews, and to be also active on social media as well. So these are points which helps you build online credibility as well and will make it easier to land your first lead. Then, of course, you should definitely tap into your network. What we usually say is that most likely as well your first lead is going to be an FFF. So it's either family or friends or fools. Because obviously as well, like if you do not have a track record, and it's a person completely out of your network, then they might be a bit foolish as well to trust you as well. But of course, lucky for you, and it's all about making it work. Another option of how to use your network is tapping into your existing clients. So it doesn't matter really what you were selling beforehand, but identify if there's a need for Odoo in like specific cases. I mean, Odoo is big enough for your existing clients of what might they struggle with, which can be solved by implementing Odoo. Also, what you can do and what I really recommend is checking around like maybe 1 to 5, maybe to 10 kilometers around you. Check local businesses as well. What kind of businesses are there, and approach them. You can either approach the shops that you actually work in or like a shop in regularly, or you can also reach out to other business partners and so on that you have in order to see, okay, is there a possibility of collaboration, and how can we work together and find a way of working together. Otherwise, also what we really recommend is being visible, especially on events. May it be industry events or Chamber of Commerce events, or being active there, or entrepreneurial meetups and so on. So there are a lot of these events happening everywhere around actually. So it's a lot of our early partners, they find their first customer in also all kinds of in events of just talking about it, them starting an Odoo partnership, and discovering Odoo. And there are some people, especially like in the entrepreneurial space, that have heard about Odoo, which might be then interesting to actually show them Odoo a bit further, and you have already the personal rapport there. And then, of course, if you have already from your previous business as well an expertise, a niche, for example, it might make sense also to combine it in a personalized event and organize an own event where you invite people. It can be in person, it can also be a webinar or a roundtable. So there are very, very different different opportunities in terms of events as well that you can do in order to find your first lead. A bit of tips from my side as well is definitely collaborate with us. So what we could, we also offer for official partners, especially to offer a roadshow or Odoo experience, partner success stories, and so on. But also your partner manager can give you a lot of tips as well of what kind of events might be interesting for you and can design based on also our experience with roadshows what is interesting as a setup for your event. And of course, for your first project, maybe it's okay to be a bit opportunistic as well and find a project quickly, even though it might not be your ideal customer, for example, just to be sure that you have one good reference and so on in order to really kickstart your partnership. And what I like to say, as soon as the first customers come in as well, you will quickly find yourself having too much work rather than too little. So the first few leads and few customers might be very, very hard to acquire. But then in the end, also, it becomes easier and easier. And then it's rather that you're too slow in recruiting new staff and having more of a waiting list rather than looking constantly for work. So it's only the first few customers that are really, really hard. And then it's becoming easier and easier, of course, because your skills develop more, you're more comfortable in finding the first leads, and it's becoming easier and easier. And then, of course, step 4, if you have a first lead, is, of course, closing your first deal. So that is also very, very important and essential, of course, for the first customer. So this is also a bit where you can learn from us as well, because it's this is what we do best as well. We have our own direct sales department as well, so we have a lot of learnings from there. So what we recommend, especially for the first deal, it's mostly going to be a smaller deal as well, to have like the classic qualification, then demonstration, and then quotation, and then closing, of course, flow in order to get the first customer under your belt. So in the qualification, what we recommend is to do the first touch points as fast and simple as possible. So what we use is, for example, like live chats or online appointments, WhatsApp, calls, follow-ups, and so on. So this is something also that might be interesting for also our partners to implement, and for you as a new partner as well, is to call, reach out, email, but especially call as well, in order to make it as fast as simple as possible. Also have multiple touch points, of course. I mean, if you have someone who's reaching out to you, don't just call them once. Get follow up with them regularly in order to have a qualification and use the qualification really in order to find out what are the customer's processes, and how do they actually work, what do they need, what my boss also really likes to say is, you have 2 ears in one mouth, so use it also in proportion. So it's really about listening to the customer, listening to the needs, and also showing interest actually, because this is not their, the first call in the qualification is not for you to shine, but it's more for the customer to really feel heard, feel that you show interest in their business, and for you to be able to build a relationship with the customer in order to make them come back for the demo, of course, but then also for them to have the feeling of, okay, someone actually listened to me, understands my needs, and so on. And what we really recommend is using also the bund sales model, which is figuring out what is the budget. Does the person that I'm talking to have the authority, the means, and the capacity to be able to decide on the ERP project? Is the need appropriate? What is the need? And then what is the timeline? So these 4 items, they will also determine how quickly you have to react and what kind of urgency actually this project has for the customer in order to react also appropriately then in the follow-up steps. So if the timeline is 2 years, it's also okay if the demo and the customer might not even be interested in a demo next week, but maybe even in one week or so. So this is also something where you can really manage also your own calendar and your own priorities as well with a good qualification. And then, of course, you need to know the budget as well, because if the customer doesn't have the budget for an ERP project, then it might not be also a good customer for your first deal. Then the star of everything is basically making a nice demonstration, because it's really the showstopper as well if the demonstration is not really nice. So make sure that you have several dry runs as well with for your demonstration, especially for your first demo or first demos as well. Practice them multiple times in order to really make sure that you stick to the flows, the points, and so on, and really highlight as well the key selling points and the wow effects. It is really important. I see it a lot that the qualification especially is not used enough for the storytelling and then actually selling the wow effects properly. So this is something really where you can stand out from the big partner crowd and really make your case. And also especially if you have more of a technical or project manager background, it is very important in a demonstration to sell to the customer and not have a training, because you're not there to teach the customer how to set up the database. You're there to sell the demonstration and to convince. So the teaching can come at a different point after you've closed the deal and before you go live, but not in the demonstration phase, please. And what is also really important is don't show everything. Odoo is a huge universe. We offer a lot of very cool effects, but don't show the customer everything that Odoo has to offer. Focus only on what they need and focus only on the pain points and the needs. There's really no need to show everything. If you get a bit more advanced as well, then you can use it as well to show the next steps. But like, this is not your main point in the demonstration. It's more about Odoo actually serves your need. And this is what we're going to focus on because I understand your need. So I'm going to show you only what what is important for you right now, and anything else can be done at a later stage as well. Or worst case, in a follow-up, if there's in a follow-up demonstration, if a new need is popping up. Then, of course, we come to the quoting part. So our partners are in Odoo. Actually, all of our Odoo licenses, especially Odoo Enterprise licenses, come from Odoo. So partners, or like every customer will get their Odoo licenses from Odoo directly, and from the partner, they will receive the implementation and the maintenance contracts as well. Mostly what we recommend to partners is to bill the implementation on a time and material basis. So it ranges then, and then you have to make a decision on, is it a simple project with very limited scope as well? Then you can, and we recommend sending a direct offer as well, because then it's more estimatable how long you will actually take. And for bigger projects, we recommend doing an ROI analysis first. So you can also build more of a relationship with the customer, and then sell as well why they need the Odoo as an ERP, as a more complex project. So this is where we usually say, like, okay, if you're spending 25, 30 days plus, and estimating 25, 30 days plus, then you should do really an ROI analysis. And as the offer phase, in the offer phase, we also usually give the recommendation to actually give a rough project planning as well as in budget, how much time you actually really need. And for your first project, also what we recommend is starting a bit on a lower rate in terms of your market, and then increase it as well as you're fully booked. So normally you can see it as well with expertise as well, with like most ready partners offer lower prices than our gold partners, for example, in every market. So this is also where this correlates as well with expertise. And yeah, for closing your deal, we have great templates as well available in our partnership knowledge base, and also a lot of information on the sales part as well. Here we have the partnership knowledge base, and then you have also a nice sales part of how to get my first prospect, qualification techniques, how to build a strong offer, as well as partner mistakes of partners to avoid, and then a bit of templates for your partner offer as well that are really, really good for inspiration. Of course, it's not like take it 100%, but then use it wisely as well. Yes, let's go to our implementation methodology. I was also talking a bit beforehand about it as well, like how to go on if you have your first customer as well. And it's of course also important to start with this for the sales part, and to know this in the sales part already, because you need to pitch it in the end. Like, you need to pitch how you're going to proceed in the implementation. So for most, especially smaller projects as well, we recommend the quick start methodology. So the first phase is the MVP, the minimum viable product as well. So this is how we make sure to have a timely and budget compliant implementation, where basically less is more. So we really ask partners also to develop this expertise in Odoo of determining what contents are necessary to import and what are not. And mostly they're not important to import. Historical data really doesn't need to be in the first MVP, and to limit developments drastically. So here you prioritize basically the results over the process, and you really get to challenge the customer, which for sure is hard, especially if you have a stubborn customer. But really, you're the expert in in how to implement Odoo. And this will result as well in a much smoother result for the first MVP and go live than if you just cave in to the customer wanting this small thing and this small thing and this small thing. It really doesn't help and makes your life also harder as well. Normally as well, like our teams, they consist of like process experts and problem solvers. So this is also what we really ask from you as a partner, of becoming process experts, of course, Odoo experts as well, and then also problem solvers, finding workarounds as well in order to minimize developments. And then, of course, like any ERP cannot be implemented without customer involvement and good communication. So really make sure, especially if you have a bit of a tougher customer in front of you, that you really involve them well, you guide them well, and you communicate well with them. And then also make sure if they don't communicate, make it your task to make them communicate well with you. Yeah. In general, when it comes to the quick start methodology, what we do in Odoo is we work with different roles. So we have, for one, the project director or consultant, depending also on the size of the project. For bigger customers, we have a layer on top, which is the project director, then the project consultant as well, who they're collaborating with in order to keep the overview. Then we have the functional consultant, the developer as well, that is coordinated basically by the functional consultant, and then the single point of contact from Odoo side as well, and then a single point of contact from Odoo, but also a single point of contact from the customer side, in order to really work well together. And the single point of contact from Odoo side or from the partner side is then coordinating all the other roles within as well. And mostly they are more on the functional side, the single point of contact, in order to make sure everything runs smoothly. Because otherwise, the customer point of contact, they will have several roles within the organization and within the partner as well to communicate to, which is making the process less lean and less smooth. And then you really need to communicate very, very efficiently. So this process also leads to this actually not needing to happen so much, and make sure that whatever happens, basically there's smooth communication to one single point of contact. Yeah, when it comes to the different phases as well, how we usually phase it is you have the initial analysis where you define the planning and the phase division, and then you go ahead and analyze the customer's process and implement basically the needs into Odoo. And this is also where you identify a bit like the bottlenecks of like the implementation. So also what might become problematic as well in the future in terms of the implementation. And then you go to the kickoff. So the initial analysis is also partially part of the sales process as well. And is like the in-between step before we go to the kickoff, where we meet usually with the customer, the sales, and the project manager. So this is where it all comes together, and there you define the clear communication methods as well. What are the channels, for example, and then you schedule also all the implementation meetings. So if it's on a weekly basis or bi-weekly basis, for example, so this is where you determine basically all the settings of the implementation. And then we go into the implementation process actually, and then we review basically the imports and the customizations, process validation. You do the training because actually it reduces risks and support issues. Then later on, maybe you identify as well that some department needs more training than other departments, but this is actually worth investing into. And then, of course, follow-up reports, especially which are important for medium or larger projects, as well to identify more upsell possibility or more or to highlight as well to the steering committee of the customer and the C-level of the customer. These processes are not fully yet implemented by the people from the change management perspective. So you can also go back and actually correct it as well and upsell maybe also more services. And then, of course, a lot of customers also want documentation of all the processes and developments, but this is also in general important for you as well to document as well, especially developments, what has been done and so on. So this is also retainable in the future. And then you set the go live as well, set the date, prepare the end users. And normally what we recommend is to go a full day for the go live or more on site as well, visit the customer and really make sure that you're there for them and train them even more if anything is popping up, for example, because there will always be something popping up that that people didn't understand fully in the training beforehand. And yeah, if you need any help in general, you can ask different profiles inside of the company, depending on if you have a partner manager already. You can ask your partner manager. If it's if you're not yet a partner, but you would like to become a partner, then your partnership recruiter is the right person for you. Otherwise, if you have a customer as well already, and it's a customer-related project, then you have an existing customer account manager as well, who will then help you as well in terms of your questions. In general, like your partner manager is your main point of contact inside of Odoo as soon as you have an active partnership with us, and they will be responsible for all the commercial side with you and new customer acquisitions, as well as all the strategic parts about your partnership. Additional supports and benefits that we give to you is we offer a wide range of e-learning courses as well and marketing support. We offer website visibility also on Odoo's website, on the partner glossary. We offer our implementation methodology and our knowledge in general and our best practices to you as partners, and also we give you access to our enterprise source code, offer hosting flexibility and commissions as well on the Odoo Enterprise license, depending also on your partner level, as well as exclusive partner training as well. So these are like the extra services that we offer outside of customers, for example. So what I have here for the last points actually for this webinar is I came up with 2 use cases actually that I, especially for smaller or newer partners, that are very, very common. And I would like you to brainstorm basically your ideas to tackle these most common issues. So basically how I would like to do it is I will just pitch them to you very, very quickly. And then I would ask you to take like 10 minutes or so after this webinar in order to 10 to 15, you're free to use how many minutes you would like actually, in order to think about how you would solve them. What might be your pitch? How would you like to defend yourself, for example? And then or what you might want to do. And then you can book yourself either in my calendar. So here are the use cases. You can either book yourself into my calendar, or you contact your partner manager. And if you do not have one, you can just contact me, and I will invite your partner manager if you're not sure, and discuss the use case and your solution. So the first use case is, I struggle to find a first lead. So what would you actually do, or what would you recommend if you were to struggle for a first lead? What would be your actions in order to follow up? So, and the second one is actually about competition against gold partners. So there is a gold partner or two maybe in my country. So how I have a lead that is asking me like, but why should I go with you, but not with the gold partner? So how would you defend yourself against them? So it's a bit tricky use cases, actually. Go ahead and think about them, write them down as well, and then go either to my calendar or book yourself a meeting with your current partner manager, and for next week maybe, and discuss the solution. And I'm looking forward to like all of your bookings as well. Otherwise, if I just skip it now and we go to the next slide, of course, you can just write me an email or just send me an invite as well. And I will discuss with you either via email. You can also write me an email just with the solutions and so on, and I'm happy to feedback it. So don't worry about that. So this is basically, the use cases, and we are actually at the end of the webinar already, so I'm happy to answer any questions of yours. And also, thank you so much for already joining. This is my email address, mati@odoo.com as well. I'm very, very happy that we could spend the last hour together. Thank you so much for attending this webinar, and I'm looking forward to hearing from you. And I hope this information was valuable to you. Thank you so much. Hi again. So I'm here to answer all the questions that you have for now. It's not that many right now, but let's see if you have more and more questions. So Bojan is asking, what is the source of the study claiming that on average companies use 14 apps? Actually, we did a bit of market research internally, and this is what we found out. So it's like our internal resource. Then Diogen was asking, does Odoo provide leads to partners? So what we do is, based on the partner level, we actually, from the big funnel that we have inside of Odoo, we provide a few leads to partners as well. These are coming from general trials from Odoo.com databases. So these are the same leads that I also get in my pipeline. Some of them are relevant and some of them are not. So yes, we do. Same question from Diogen is, what is the average Odoo revenue of a gold partner in North America versus Europe? Since I only manage actually Europe, and European countries are also very, very different from each other. But a lot of Odoo partners, or like in general, companies in Europe have to have for sure the revenue reportings online. So this can be very easily figure outable, but it depends on averages, and I would say the the averages or the spread of the averages in North America are way smaller than in Europe. So this is why I cannot answer this question fully. Justinas was asking, do you support partners with pre-sales? Yes, this is what your partner manager is for. So we are happy to, especially with very new partners as well, what we do is we offer to shadow qualifications, demonstrations, and the sales process in general in order to give you feedback, in order to make you better as well, and in order to share also our expertise, in order to make you grow as quickly and be self-sufficient as quickly as possible. Bojan was also asking, the discount for partners is only for Odoo Online. No, it's actually for Odoo Online and Odoo SH. So what we offer is the internal partner discount for Odoo Online and Odoo SH. Yes. Yes. Timbo, you missed the webinar? No worries. This webinar is recorded, and after this webinar is ending, you can find this webinar again and listen to it again. Or if you already listened or came in the beginning, but you want to listen to it again, you can also do that. Regarding your website builder, is there an AI plugin to take Figma to Odoo? Not from Odoo side. Maybe check out the Odoo App Store if there's anything for now. But as far as I know, from Odoo side, there is nothing for now. But maybe keep a lookout as well for the V19 release in September. Maybe there is something there as well. Bojan is asking, what is the strategy of Odoo in expanding the brand in the Balkans? So we have local events there as well. So it depends on what Balkan country you're talking about. In general, we're checking as well what is the customer base, how are the partners, what are the partner activities as well, and then we're making our choices as well. Justinas, you mentioned that you support partners with pre-sales. In our experience, this is not the case. You, Odoo, impose partners to purchase success packs in order to receive any support. What changed? So it depends also really on your pre-sales questions. I mean, if they're highly technical as well, someone in my position is a functional expert as well inside of Odoo, and this is also what your partner manager will be like. So if you have any development questions and so on, also your partner manager cannot answer you actually. So in this case, we offer partner success packs in order to increase also the quality because of the responses you get, because it depends on the use case. What are your measures to tackle the competition in the Balkans? Also from Bojan. We do not tackle normally, our goal is not to tackle competition. Our goal is to grow Odoo as a brand. So this is where our focus lies in, and not really to tackle actively market share from only one competitor. Stefano was asking, can I start alone the partnership and then add new team members? Sure, you can. That is also not a problem at all. So this is actually how a lot of partners actually start, is they start a partnership alone and then add new team members. You just have to let us know so we can also add them to all the resources that we can give to you as a partner. And last question from Charles. There wasn't a breakout of North American partners. How many gold, silver, and ready? As I already said in the beginning, I'm not an expert in North American partners. You can email me and I can connect you to the right person to answer this question to you. Or I can find this out yourself. This webinar had more of a European focus since it's also live streamed directly from the headquarters of Odoo in Belgium. So I'm very sorry that I I didn't add North American partners here. And I think that's it from the question side. Thank you everyone so much. And I wish you a lovely day. Take care. Bye-bye.